4,134,130. In fact, what happened next was exactly as Lin Moyu had predicted. After restoring several filth pools, the 9 beast emperors stopped, ignoring the remaining purified pools and turning their attention toward Tun Yuan's location. The Lord of Power whispered,
"You were right again. But why are they going after Tun Yuan now instead of restoring all the pools first?"
Lin Moyu replied,
"I have 2 guesses. First, more pools aren't necessarily better. Second, the route they chose while restoring the pools was already aimed at Tun Yuan's position. You can see now that Tun Yuan is already surrounded by the wild beasts, he just doesn't know it yet."
Lin Moyu pointed to the images he was displaying. By piecing them together, it was clear the beast emperors had already encircled Tun Yuan. This alone showed the beast emperors' high intelligence. They understood tactics, not just brute force. And Yuan looked at Lin Moyu.
"Do you think Tun Yuan can escape?"
Lin Moyu said,
"He'll be fine. Back when I seriously injured him, he still managed to escape the Sword Emperor multiple. Now, he's surpassed his former peak. As long as he's willing to pay a price, escaping isn't hard."
Back then, Lin Moyu's palm strike had astonished even the Sword Emperor of the Spirit Demon clan, as it surpassed the eternal level. But Lin Moyu knew that was a sneak attack. If Tun Yuan were prepared, it would be much harder to cripple him again. Even at their strongest, the Beast Emperors hadn't surpassed eternity and were weaker than the Sword Emperor. Even with numbers, killing Tun Yuan would be difficult. As Tun Yuan was slaughtering Dao wild beasts, he suddenly paused, sensing something was wrong. He growled uneasily, scanning the surroundings, then abruptly flew off in a certain direction. Lin Moyu commented,
"Very sharp instincts."
Tun Yuan fled toward the weakest in the encirclement, showing his keen sense for danger and ability to find the safest path. Unfortunately, the Beast Emperors had planned for this. What seemed the safest route was only relatively so. Soon, he ran into a wall of wild beasts. Tens of millions blocked his way, with Beast Kings at the front stalling him. Sensing the growing danger, Tun Yuan didn't linger, but the sheer number of beasts made breaking out impossible. Soon, the Beast Emperors arrived and attacked. Their assaults were powerful, thoroughly suppressing Tun Yuan. And Yuan explained,
"The Beast Emperors have 2 main attack methods. One is the filthy divine light they spew from their mouths, ears, and noses, which can contaminate the great Tao. Even we must be careful. If your Tao is polluted, it's a huge problem. The other is the filthy curse from their bodies, which targets us directly. If our bodies or souls are cursed, we'll be tainted at best. Our cultivation suffers. At worst, we have to retreat to the Tao to heal. Both the filthy divine light and curse are hard to remove, taking ages to wear off."
Lin Moyu added,
"The Lord of Curses was once contaminated and had to go dormant. Even then, the curse lingered until he found another way to separate it. Otherwise, recovery would have been nearly impossible. When he entered the core of the great wilderness, who knows what he encountered? I'm sure the curse he suffered didn't come from the Beast Emperors. Their curses aren't that strong. This suggests there's an even more powerful filth in the core region."
The Beast Emperors, leading billions of wild beasts, completely surrounded Tun Yuan. He tried to break out repeatedly but failed each time. Fortunately, his unique nature made him immune to the Beast Emperor's curses. Even the filthy divine light only caused minor wounds that healed quickly. This battle would last a while. Neither side would give up easily. Lin Moyu's mind stirred, and suddenly a large number of undead servants appeared in the images. Previously hidden throughout the great wilderness, they now revealed themselves, heading toward the core region. Lin Moyu closed his eyes, beginning to control the undead. Not just simple control, but attaching fragments of his soul to them, turning them into soul avatars. These avatars, carried by the undead, advanced into the core, laying down formations as they went. The formations were simple. Each required only a single divine rune to monitor everything within 10,000 li. The fewer the runes, the more hidden the formation. The formations could also link together, forming a complete surveillance network. Taking advantage of the Beast Emperor's absence, the undead swarmed toward the core, with Lin Moyu's soul avatars continuously setting up formations. Controlling so many avatars at once was taxing, but Lin Moyu had done it before when setting up against the Lord of Curses. He'd used the same method. And Yuyan noticed Lin Moyu's unusual state, realizing he must be up to something, but didn't ask. In the scene Lin Moyu displayed, the seemingly sleeping mutated beast suddenly awoke. It let out a muffled roar, thunderous across the great wilderness, and giant claws rained down from the sky, smashing the undead heading for the core. The mutated beast had detected the undead and attacked directly. The undead stood no chance, dying in droves. But within seconds, they revived and continued advancing. The mutated beast was startled to see the undead resurrect, then attacked again, killing them all. This time he struck even harder, reducing them to ashes. Satisfied, he closed his eyes only for the undead to revive again and keep going. The mutated beast was shocked again, roared in frustration, and attacked repeatedly. Since the undead were easy to kill, he could attack over and over. What he didn't realize was that the undead could also revive endlessly. Angered, the mutated beast's roars grew deeper, echoing far and wide. Countless wild beasts heard and rushed toward the core. Suddenly, an undead army appeared, slaughtering the approaching wild beasts and charging for the core, as well switching from stealth to all-out assault. The mutated beast kept attacking, but the undead scattered, reviving wherever they fell and pressing forward. The core region was vast, and the undead were advancing from all directions. Before they reached the very center, the mutated beast couldn't kill them all. Chapter 41:31. Bad news. The squads of undead servants kept pressing deeper into the core region. Lin Moyu had prepared for this exploration for a long time. Hiding these undead in the great wilderness was no easy feat with the beast emperors besieging Tun Yuan. The core region was left undefended. Relying on just the mutated beast to hold the line was difficult. Soon, the remaining undiscovered royal pools were all found. At this point, the locations of all 108 filth pools in the great wilderness were known, forming a complete map in Lin Moyu's mind. But as he looked at the full layout, his brow furrowed. The pattern formed by the pools gave him a very bad feeling. And Yuyan gently asked,
"What's wrong?"
Lin Moyu shook his head.
"I've found a problem, but I can't say for sure yet."
He vaguely saw that the pool's distribution resembled a formation, possibly a natural grand array. But to confirm, he'd need to know the layout of the filth rivers beneath the pools. If it was as he suspected, dealing with the wild beasts would be far more complicated than expected. Unable to enter the filth rivers for now, the only way to confirm his guess was to reach the core region and see for himself. At the very least, the formation created by the 108 pools had pointed him in the right direction. Guided by Lin Moyu's will, the undead servants charged toward the indicated destination, dying and reviving, drawing ever closer. The mutated beast seemed to realize it couldn't stop the undead alone. Its roars grew lower and carried farther. The beast emperors, still fighting Tun Yuan, heard the mutated beast's call, roared in anger, and immediately flew toward the core region. Their home was under threat while they were fighting outside. Tun Yuan seized the chance to escape, fleeing without looking back.
"They're all heading back."
Someone remarked.
"Did something happen?"
The Eternals watching were puzzled, but only Lin Moyu knew it was his doing. As the beast emperors returned, the undead rushed even faster, advancing through death and resurrection, gradually uncovering the unknown. Finally, another filth pool was found. But this one was dried up, with only a little sludge left, much weaker than the pools on the outer battlefield, unable to nurture wild beasts. As the undead discovered this dried pool, the mutated beast, hidden in the Tao cloud, suddenly went berserk, swooping down and slaughtering the nearby undead, trampling and devouring them.
"Is this pool related to it?"
Lin Moyu wondered, not understanding the beast's reaction. While the mutated beast was distracted, the undead in other directions surged forward, quickly discovering another pool shrouded in dense mist. Only when the undead were within 10,000 meters did it become visible. The pool glowed brilliantly, The filth inside condensed into a thick paste. A thin wild beast was being nurtured inside, half submerged in the pool, its body half visible through the mist. Within seconds of discovery, the undead shattered the mist was filled with a terrifying curse they couldn't withstand. Lin Moyu revived them, but they broke apart again after 3 seconds. The undead could only last 3 seconds in the mist, showing how powerful the curse was. After several tries, Lin Moyu withdrew the undead. He'd learned something. Soon after, another pool was found, also shrouded in cursed mist, also nurturing a mutated wild beast. With the beast emperors and their army returning, the undead had no more opportunities. Lin Moyu ordered them to scatter and hide. Thanks to his familiarity with the great wilderness, the undead could still find places to lay low. Lin Moyu slowly opened his eyes and let out a breath, and Yuyan asked,
"What did you find?"
Lin Moyu gave a wry smile.
"I found some very bad things."
The Lord of Power quipped,
"Bad news? Tell us, so we can all be miserable together."
He always kept his sense of humor. Lin Moyu waved his hand, and over 100 images appeared in the air, forming a complete pattern.
While the beast emperors were fighting Tun Yuan, I sent my puppets into the core region and made some discoveries. These new formations will improve our surveillance of the great wilderness. And I found something new.
He pointed to the scenes he'd just witnessed.
I found 3 new filth pools.
Oldine Head gasped.
Are you sure they're filth pools?
Lin Moyu nodded.
Yes. 3 pools, one dried up, which made the mutated beast extremely agitated. I suspect it was nurtured in that pool. The other 2, as I suspected, each contain a developing mutated beast, and both are shrouded in cursed mist. My puppets can only last 3 seconds in that mist. You all know the Lord of Curses once ventured into the core and came back covered in curses.
Oldine Head muttered.
You mean the Lord of Curses' curse came from these pools?
Lin Moyu replied.
I'm not sure if it was these exact pools, but definitely from similar ones.
Oldine Head's face darkened. He understood Lin Moyu's implication. There were more than 3 such pools. Lin Moyu marked the locations of all 108 pools in the air. Oldine Head pondered the layout. Lin Moyu then drew the underground filth rivers, connecting the pools into a formation diagram. Oldine Head understood.
It's a natural formation.
Lin Moyu agreed.
Yes, and each pool is a formation node. Senior, you should see the incomplete parts of the formation.
As he spoke, Lin Moyu marked 3 more pools, making the formation more complete. Oldine Head's face grew graver as he tapped several more times, completing the formation. In total, he tapped 6 times, each representing a node, each node a pool. That meant there were 9 hidden pools in the core, each nurturing a mutated beast. This was far more troublesome than they'd imagined. And Yuyan flipped her hand, revealing the cause and effect Great Tao, and began a divination. Suddenly her face went pale and she coughed up blood.
The calculation failed,
she said, not even wiping the blood away. These beings were too powerful she could barely divine one, but several at once overwhelmed her, and the backlash was too great. Chapter 4132. Who is using whom? Lin Moyu flicked out a strand of the power of life to heal and Yuyan's injuries.
No need to divine cause and effect anymore. Their existence comes down to 2 possibilities, life or death.
And Yuyan bit her lip.
Even one is hard to deal with if there are 9. How do we fight?
Lin Moyu said.
If all 9 are born, we'd have no chance. We might as well surrender and let this world do as it pleases. But after all these years, only one has been born. It's not that the beast emperors don't want more, it's just extremely difficult to create them. I don't know how hard it really is. Maybe if we reach the core region, we'll find out. What I do know is that they want to, but it's very hard.
The human emperor was deeply worried.
If one can be born, so can a second. If we can't eliminate them, the danger will always be there.
Lin Moyu said.
Heaven never blocks all paths, there's always a solution. As I've said, Tun Yuan and the Soulless Beast are the key. This time, Tun Yuan suffered a setback. I bet he'll seek out the Soulless Beast, and they may join forces.
Both are smart enough to know that fighting the Beast Emperors alone is hopeless. Teaming up is the only way. And Yuyan watched the screen.
The Soulless Beast has gone to a filth pool.
But it wasn't an ordinary pool, it was one the Soulless Beast had previously purified, but which the Beast Emperors had restored. Seeing the pool not only restored but stronger than before, the Soulless Beast seemed dissatisfied, emitting a sharp cry. It dove in to purify the pool again. The pool was once more moving from one extreme to the other. If successful, its power would increase dramatically. If the Beast Emperors then reversed it again, the pool's strength could rise even further, perhaps enough to become a royal pool. Normally, the Soulless Beast shouldn't do this, as it would be helping the Beast Emperors create royal pools. But the Soulless Beast isn't foolish. It wouldn't just be used by others. It screamed repeatedly as it purified the pool, and the filth quickly vanished much faster than before. And Yuyan said,
"It looks like the Soulless Beast left something behind in the pool, or it wouldn't be purifying so quickly."
Lin Moyu laughed.
"He left more than just something behind. The Beast Emperors are using him, but he's using them too. Don't underestimate this little guy, he's very clever."
The pool was purified a second time, and the resulting power was even greater than before. Normally, the Soulless Beast would leave and seek the next target, but this time it didn't go. It hovered above the purified pool, let out a sharp cry, and then inhaled forcefully. A tornado-like vortex rose from the pool as the Soulless Beast sucked it dry in an instant, leaving it completely empty. Everyone was stunned. The Soulless Beast had drained an entire pool. Lin Moyu burst out laughing.
As expected, this guy turned the tables on the Beast Emperors.
The Beast Emperors tried to use the Soulless Beast to strengthen the pools by restoring them after purification. But the Soulless Beast, after purifying the pool again and making it even stronger, simply devoured all its power in one go. With this back and forth, the Soulless Beast's aura swelled rapidly. After absorbing the entire pool's power, it grew from 1 meter to 2 meters long. Still tiny compared to the wild beasts, but now strong enough to instantly kill a beast king. After finishing one pool, the Soulless Beast immediately headed for the next. At that moment, furious roars echoed across the great wilderness. The Beast Emperors had discovered the change and, enraged, charged over. Oldine Head shouted excitedly,
"The formation made by the pools is missing a corner. The effect is greatly weakened."
Lin Moyu said,
"Exactly, the Soulless Beast has done us a huge favor. Once the formation is broken, it will be even harder for the mutated beast in the core to be born."
When the Beast Emperors arrived, the 3 pools they'd painstakingly restored had already been drained by the Soulless Beast, leaving only empty pits that would take at least 1,000,000 years to recover. If the wild beasts kept working at it, maybe they could have the time, but it would still take hundreds of thousands of years. The Soulless Beast had already vanished without a trace. The Beast Emperors roared in frustration, but it was useless. The Soulless Beast had a knack for hiding, and even they couldn't find it once it wanted to disappear. On Lin Moyu's surveillance screen, the Soulless Beast reappeared, this time in a barren area. Tun Yuan also appeared, and the two stared at each other. Tun Yuan looked more like a Dao wild beast, while the Soulless Beast was something else entirely. They weren't even the same species, and it was unclear how they communicated. The Soulless Beast had no soul and couldn't use soul communication. They exchanged low growls for a while, then parted ways. The Lord of Power wondered.
"What did they talk about?"
Lin Moyu said,
"Probably about working together."
and Yuyan said,
"It doesn't matter what they said, just watch what they do next. I have a feeling something big is coming."
After Lin Moyu's explanation, the threat of the Dao wild beasts seemed even greater, and all the Eternals felt uneasy. If things continued like this, trouble would surely come to their side. For now, all they could do was watch how Tun Yuan and the Soulless Beast dealt with the Dao wild beasts. Suddenly, Lin Moyu said,
"Everyone, keep watching. I'm going out for a bit."
and Yuyan was startled.
"You're going to the Great Wilderness?"
Lin Moyu nodded.
I want to see for myself, maybe I can do something.
And Yuyan instinctively said,
I'll go with you.
Lin Moyu cut her off.
No need, I'll go alone. But,
And Yuyan hesitated. Holding head chuckled.
let Taoist Lin go by himself. Are you still not confident in his abilities? We old folks would just get in the way.
And Yuyan glared at him.
I'm not old.
Holding head laughed, and so did the other Eternals. Even in Yuyan, who had lived for who knows how many years, was sensitive about her age. Lin Moyu said,
Seniors, please keep an eye on the Dao wild beasts. If anything happens, guard the Hingguan Mountains. I might be gone a while.
And Yuyan didn't insist.
Be careful then. Don't worry.
With that, Lin Moyu flew toward the great wilderness, disappearing into the sky. In the next instant, he appeared on the screen, with a small space Dao demon on his shoulder. The space around him twisted, and Lin Moyu gradually vanished into the void, completely hidden. Using space to conceal himself and suppressing his aura, even the Beast Emperors would have trouble finding him. Lin Moyu quickly arrived above a dried-up pool, where many wild beasts were gathered, worshipping the pool and pouring their power into it to help it recover. After the Soulless Beast's rampage, the pool was almost ruined. Restoring it would take at least 1,000,000 years. If the beasts kept at it, maybe they could cut the time in half, but it would still be hundreds of thousands of years. Lin Moyu didn't disturb them and continued deeper. At that moment, another great battle erupted in the great wilderness. Tun Yuan appeared at a pool and began slaughtering wild beasts. Chapter 41-33. Cooperation. Tun Yuan's reappearance was perfectly timed, coinciding with the Beast Emperor's peak fury. The Soulless Beast had disrupted their plans by draining several filth pools, severely impacting their scheme. The 108 filth pools formed a natural formation, each pool serving as a formation node. With several nodes suddenly missing, the formation's effectiveness was greatly reduced. This formation was crucial to the wild beasts, something the Beast Emperors had prepared for countless years, paying enormous costs. Now that it was compromised, their rage was inevitable. So, when Tun Yuan appeared again, the Beast Emperors moved as one, rushing to his location. They used the same tactic as before, surrounding Tun Yuan from all sides before attacking, knowing that otherwise he had a high chance of escape. All of the wild beasts' actions were monitored by the formations Lin Moyu had set up, and the Eternals watching sensed something was off. Tun Yuan's appearance seemed to have a special purpose. By this time, Lin Moyu had entered the great wilderness, passing several filth pools. He was fully aware of Tun Yuan's and the wild beasts' movements, thanks to his formations. Hidden in space, he drew close to the Soulless Beast and sent it some of his will. As its creator, Lin Moyu had a connection with the Soulless Beast and could communicate within a certain range. The Soulless Beast would unconditionally obey Lin Moyu's commands, a fact he had never told anyone. When he created the Soulless Beast, Lin Moyu had a flash of inspiration and used the spirit creation technique, succeeding. Afterward, he could control the Soulless Beast with the spirit control technique, a secret crucial to his plans. The Soulless Beast sent back information, and Lin Moyu was surprised to find his plan matched perfectly with the Soulless Beast's intended actions. The Soulless Beast and Tun Yuan had already agreed to cooperate against the Dao wild beasts. Their plan was simple. Tun Yuan would kill wild beasts and draw the Beast Emperor's attention, while the Soulless Beast would purify filth pools and provide Tun Yuan with an escape route. With a common enemy, they trusted each other. Neither could succeed alone. Now, with Tun Yuan drawing the Beast Emperors away, most wild beasts had followed, leaving the Soulless Beast free to purify a pool as planned. The Soulless Beast knew that after draining several pools, the Beast Emperors would no longer ignore him. They would certainly try to stop him. So, after purifying a pool, he would travel through the underground filth currents to meet Tun Yuan and help him escape. Both Tun Yuan and the Soulless Beast could enter the underground filth currents. That's how they entered the great wilderness from the outer battlefield. But once inside, they encountered problems. The natural formation formed by the pools made it hard for Tun Yuan to move freely through the currents. The currents themselves were partly above ground, partly underground, winding and complex, with strange and powerful creatures lurking within. Thus, Tun Yuan struggled to travel the currents as he wished. The Soulless Beast, however, had an easier time. His purification ability let him carve a path through the filth currents and deal with the strange creatures more effectively. This allowed him to travel through the currents and rescue Tun Yuan, making it hard for even the wild beasts to stop them. It was a simple but effective plan. Lin Moyu's command didn't disrupt the Soulless Beast's plan, he just changed which pool to purify. Based on the layout of the 108 pools, Lin Moyu chose one that was a key node in the natural formation, the only one he could safely target. He had already penetrated deep into the great wilderness, near its heart, and with the help of a space Dao demon, could still hide himself. Any closer and he'd risk being discovered by the wild beasts. His real goal was the core region, but the main route was blocked. He had to take a side path. The underground filth currents. These were hard to traverse, so he had to prepare. Structurally, the filth currents were difficult mainly because of the natural formation, which concentrated the filth and refined it before sending it to the core. To move smoothly through the currents, he needed to break the formation structure first. Tun Yuan's actions gave Lin Moyu an opening call at fate. Summoned by Lin Moyu, the Soulless Beast arrived, shining like a small sun. All the Dao wild beasts around the pool, ordinary and beast kings alike, were quickly purified. Beast kings could last half a minute, ordinary beasts only a few seconds. What seemed terrifying to a Dao lord was pitifully weak before the Soulless Beast, who was both their natural bane and overwhelmingly stronger. Lin Moyu monitored the wild beast's movements through his formations. When the Soulless Beast appeared, it drew the Beast Emperor's attention, but they seemed determined to kill Tun Yuan first and didn't split their forces to deal with the Soulless Beast. The Soulless Beast dove into the pool and purified it. After draining 3 pools, its power had grown greatly, and its purification speed was now astonishing. When the pool was about a third purified, Lin Moyu silently slipped in, heading straight to the bottom and entering the filth current from the pool's outlet. With the pool under the Soulless Beast's influence, the wild beasts had lost contact with it and didn't know Lin Moyu had arrived. He didn't act immediately after entering the filth current, instead sensing the filth's strength much greater than in the outer battlefield, at least dozens of times stronger. The pools would swallow and spew the filth current, refining it each time and sending it to the core. Even an Eternal would be affected if they lingered too long in this environment. After a while, Lin Moyu sensed the pool above was half purified, and the filth current stopped flowing into it, instead moving forward. With the pool's influence gone, the current weakened slightly. Lin Moyu seized the moment, set up divine runes to form an array, and drew the surrounding filth to wrap himself, disguising himself as a mass of filth as he flowed with the current toward the core region. Chapter 4134. The Frustration of Being Outwitted. Lin Moyu disguised himself as a mass of filth, moving carefully along the underground current. He was already inside the natural formation, which was under the wild beast's control. One wrong move and he'd be exposed. Without the Soulless Beast's help, he would have been discovered the moment he entered the pool. If he tried sneaking in from the outer battlefield, not only would the distance be much greater, but he'd also be exposed the instant he broke through the formation into the great wilderness. Only by moving from within the formation itself could he hope to evade the beast's notice. Inside the current, Lin Moyu used the strength and weakness of the flow to judge his direction. The closer to the core region, the denser the filth, making it hard to lose his way. The filth constantly corroded his formation, forcing him to repair it as he went. The closer he got to the core, the faster the corrosion. He had to be extremely cautious, making as little disturbance as possible. This was why he had to come alone. Even one more person would be too risky. In the Hengduan Mountains, the Eternals watched the images relayed from the formations. Tun Yuan was surrounded and seemingly unable to escape. The Soulless Beast had completed evolving a pool and disappeared into it. Lin Moyu's whereabouts were unknown. The Lord of Power muttered,
I really don't get what Tun Yuan is doing. He's not just throwing his life away, is he?
Olding Head chuckled.
No way. He's smart, he knows what he's doing.
The Human Emperor said,
The Soulless Beast should be about to act. If I'm right, Tun Yuan is the distraction, and the Soulless Beast is purifying the pool and creating an escape route.
And Yuan agreed.
The Beast Emperors don't know Tun Yuan and the Soulless Beast have teamed up. This time, they'll probably come up empty-handed.
The human emperor smiled.
True, but they'll only get away with it once or twice. After that, the Beast Emperors will be ready.
And Yuan added.
Now that the Beast Emperors know a twice-purified pool can be drained, they'll definitely try to kill Tun Yuan and the Soulless Beast. If it were me, I'd use a restored pool to lure the Soulless Beast in.
The human emperor said.
We'll see who's smarter. And who knows where Lin Moyu is, he's probably already snuck in.
And Yuan sighed.
I never thought we'd end up as bystanders.
Olding Head shook his head.
Don't say that. Everyone has their specialty. Lin Moyu has his strengths, and we have ours.
The human emperor said.
Lin Moyu is a true genius. I've never admired anyone before, but for him, I have to admit my respect.
As they spoke, the pool at the center of Tun Yuan's encirclement suddenly erupted in a burst of light. A ball of light rose from the pool and exploded. In the glare, the encircling wild beasts were purified. The Soulless Beast burst out from below, tearing open a gap in the encirclement. Tun Yuan immediately tried to break through toward the pool. The Soulless Beast had already opened a path below. If Tun Yuan could reach the pool, he could escape and win the battle. Boom! The pool exploded again, and with a shrill scream, a surge of immense power blasted out. The mutated beast shot out from the pool, striking the Soulless Beast and sending it flying. Tun Yuan screamed and crashed into the mutated beast. Both were knocked back, and Tun Yuan was trapped again. The Beast Emperors swarmed Tun Yuan, unleashing a barrage of attacks, while the mutated beast chased after the Soulless Beast. The human emperor and the others were stunned just moments before. They thought the wild beasts would suffer a setback, but the situation reversed instantly. The wild beasts had anticipated the cooperation between Tun Yuan and the Soulless Beast and were trying to wipe them out in one go. At that moment, the Eternals felt their intelligence was being trampled. Whether it was Tun Yuan, the Soulless Beast, or the wild beasts, everyone seemed smarter than them. They all used schemes and tricks, completely appending everything the Eternals thought they knew. They even began to wonder if the wild beasts they'd fought for so many years had been acting all along. The feeling was deeply frustrating. Every Eternal wore a bitter expression, unable to put their emotions into words. And Yuan said quietly,
I don't think it's always been this way. The wild beasts weren't this clever before they had intelligence, but not to this extent.
The human emperor agreed.
We've fought the Beast Emperors many times. They've always had some intelligence, but mostly acted on instinct, never like this.
Olding Head, who had lived the longest and fought the Beast Emperors the most, thought for a while and said,
Do you feel like the Beast Emperor's intelligence has been increasing over time?
Everyone nodded in agreement. The human emperor said,
It does seem that way.
Olding Head continued,
If that's true, the Beast Emperors must be constantly evolving. Something is making them smarter.
Though frustrated, the Eternals had to admit this might be the truth. The Beast Emperors were getting smarter while they stayed the same. If this continued, their side would be in increasing danger. But for now, they had no good solution. On the screen, the battle raged on. Tun Yuan was tightly suppressed by the 9 Beast Emperors, while the Soulless Beast was targeted by the mutated beast. Both were in trouble. Tun Yuan kept screaming, and the Soulless Beast responded. The two seemed to be communicating through their cries. No one knew what they were saying, but both were in dire straits. Tun Yuan's tough body was covered in wounds from the relentless assault. Suddenly, the Soulless Beast erupted in a blaze of light, its body swelling, and a massive flame appeared in the void. The intense fire forced the mutated beast back, even dissolving part of the Tao cloud. In that moment, anything touched by the flames was purified. Countless Tao wild beasts caught fire and were burned to ash. Even the Beast Emperors were ignited, but their immense power let them smother the flames with filth. The Soulless Beast's desperate move bought Tun Yuan an opening. He too grew larger, his wings spreading tens of thousands of meters, sweeping the void and blasting the Beast Emperors away. Wherever his wings passed, wild beasts and beast kings were obliterated. Like lightning, Tun Yuan rushed to the Soulless Beast, his body also aflame. He ignored the pain, grabbed the Soulless Beast, and dove into the pool. The pool exploded like a volcano, keeping the wild beasts at bay. By the time the pool calmed, both had vanished. The two had fought their way to survival with everything they had. Chapter 4135. Once narrow-minded. As Lin Moyu traveled through the filth current, he suddenly stopped, sensing a change in the Soulless Beast and realizing what had happened.
We were outmaneuvered. I still underestimated the intelligence of the Beast Emperors. Their wisdom isn't quite what Yuan and the others described over the years. The Beast Emperors must have been constantly evolving. This evolution might not be natural. It could be due to rare treasures or some special formation.
From various details, Lin Moyu deduced several possibilities. He realized the Beast Emperor's intelligence had always been evolving, and after countless years, it had likely reached an extremely high level. There had to be a reason for this, and he would know once he reached the true core region. This was where his mastery of formations became invaluable. Using the layout of the 108 filth pools and the 3 special pools found in the core, he could deduce the general structure of the formation. Now, moving through the filth current and analyzing its flow, the natural formation became even clearer. Through this analysis, Lin Moyu could reverse engineer the formation and pinpoint the true core. A large formation always has a main node and several secondary nodes. None of the pools he'd seen, whether royal, king, or special, were the main node. There was still a core node in this formation. Even Old Head hadn't noticed this, but Lin Moyu had. He believed all the secrets of the wild beasts would be found at that main node. He didn't worry about the Soulless Beast. It was smart enough to make its own choices. Without it and Tun Yuan drawing the wild beast's attention, he had to be even more careful. Continuing along the filth current, Lin Moyu used the changes in its density to judge his progress. He soon reached a royal pool, where the filth was 3 times as dense, and the corrosion of his formation increased dramatically. Divine runes snapped every few seconds and needed constant repair, but this was manageable for him. After passing the royal pool, Lin Moyu noticed that large amounts of filth current were converging in one direction.
A special pool?
He followed the flow and soon arrived at an underground cavern, about 100 meters wide and high, where the filth current pooled into a shallow lake just a meter deep. But beneath this lake was a natural formation. Here, the Tao filth was refined again, becoming even purer. Then a thin stream would rise from the lake, sending the refined filth up to a special pool above the cavern. Lin Moyu hid and observed, confirming that the pool above was one of the special pools he'd seen earlier. There were 3 special pools. One was already dried up, its mutated beast fully formed. The other 2 still contained developing mutated beasts. The pool above was the dried one. This scene revealed to Lin Moyu how the special pools were formed. Tao filth entered the great wilderness, and as it passed through a royal pool, some was absorbed and refined, then expelled to continue along the current. When it reached this cavern, the natural formation refined it further, making it even purer, and some of that formed the special pool. The filth in the special pool was nearly at its purest, able to support a mutated beast's evolution to another extreme. Thus, 9 royal pools corresponded to 9 special pools, just as Lin Moyu had deduced from the formation. But at the other end of the cavern, wisps of even purer Tao filth stretched away, fewer in number but of unmatched purity, surpassing even the special pools. This filth could at any moment reach the opposite extreme, fulfilling the principle of
extremes meet,
and become the purest Tao power. Tao filth came in grades: ordinary, king pool, royal pool, special pool, and now this ultra-pure type. Each step up meant a 10-fold increase in purity, an unimaginable gap. Lin Moyu didn't know where this ultra-pure filth was headed, but its direction pointed to the formation's true main node. At this point, he could sketch out the entire formation. 9 royal pools, 9 special pools, and 9 caverns like this, all refining and purifying filth to the utmost and sending it toward a single point. Who knows how many years this process had been underway, or how much Dao filth had been gathered, a truly astronomical amount. Lin Moyu crossed the lake, following the ultra-pure filth toward the main node. As he touched this filth, he couldn't help but feel shocked. It was so pure it exceeded his imagination, no longer chaotic or cursed, but the very essence of filth. He realized, when filth reaches its utmost, it becomes a kind of purity. Curse is a combination of chaos and filth. When filth reaches its limit and chaos disappears, the curse vanishes too, replaced by something even more terrifying. His own formation shattered upon contact with this pure filth. Lin Moyu was certain that the Lord of Curses must have seen the special pools but had never encountered this ultra-pure filth. If he had, he might have been forced into dormancy on the spot. Lin Moyu had a revelation.
Any force, when pushed to the limit, becomes terrifying. Dao power is like this, and so is filth. This has surpassed the Dao, reaching another level. It should have reached an extreme, but instead it's gone beyond its own limit, reaching a new extreme.
He realized he had once been too narrow-minded. When a force reaches an extreme, it can transition to another extreme and become stronger. That's the principle of
Extremes meet.
He'd understood this early on. His immortality great Tao excelled at it. But now he saw that when a force reaches its extreme, it doesn't have to transition, it can transcend itself, surpassing the imagined limit and moving toward an even greater ultimate. This was another path, a path beyond the world's Daos. One Lin Moyu had never considered. It broadened his perspective. What he thought was the limit was not the true limit. That was only the limit of this world's Daos, not the limit of a force itself. At that moment, a word came to Lin Moyu's mind.
Transcendence.
Chapter 4136. Transcenders within heaven and earth. Transcendence. This word was not unfamiliar to Lin Moyu. In the Myriad Spirits Pavilion, he had encountered transcendence, known as Saint Spirit Realm experts.
Saint Spirit Realm
Was just a local term. Lin Moyu preferred the word
Transcender.
The final step for an eternal, if successful, was also transcendence. Transcendence means surpassing this world, breaking free from it, transcending on the levels of power, soul, and life none can be lacking. The filth power before him, so pure it surpassed all limits, made Lin Moyu think of transcendence. In his perception, this filth power had already surpassed the great Tao power of this world, carried a source-like attribute, somewhat akin to chaotic energy. Lin Moyu couldn't help but speculate. Had a transcender intervened here? If so, was it a transcender born within this world, or one from outside? If it was an internal transcender, who could it be, and how had they left their mark? If it was an outsider, how did they evade the Candle Dragon? The tunnel he was traveling now bore clear signs of artificial construction, not a natural formation. Lin Moyu could be sure it wasn't the work of the Beast Emperors. The tunnel contained a strange power that eternally maintained its structure, unchanged for countless years. To create such a tunnel beneath the great wilderness without being discovered was beyond even the Eternals. He grew more certain of his guess. This was the work of someone beyond eternity, likely a transcender. Even if not a true transcender, it had to be a half-step transcender like the Kunlun Emperor. Following the filth power for several days, Lin Moyu moved cautiously, not daring to go too fast or touch the filth directly. Facing the unknown, he maintained utmost vigilance. After several days, he felt himself drawing closer to his destination. On the seventh day, he finally reached the end of the tunnel, a massive cavern. Here, all the filth power converged, forming a lake in the cavern's center. Not only his own tunnel, but 8 others fed into the cavern, all pouring filth power into the central lake. The lake boiled like a cauldron, space around it twisting, countless spatial rifts opening and closing, with faint traces of chaos beyond. These rifts led beyond this world, connecting to chaos itself. Lin Moyu's pupils contracted sharply. Even he, always calm, felt his heart race. This wasn't just boiling, but another round of refinement and purification. The power, already pure to the extreme and beyond the great Tao, was being refined again. The resulting energy nearly exceeded the world's limits. and the aura it emitted confirmed for Lin Moyu that it had truly surpassed the great Tao of this world. Purely in terms of power, this filth even surpassed his world-ending palm. His palm gathered all great Tao power, condensing it into Tao's source energy, a path of unification and integration. But this filth power was raised to the extreme, surpassing the Tao entirely. Which was stronger was hard to say, but Lin Moyu knew he could not achieve this himself. Above the cavern, another formation was operating, channeling this thrice refined filth power upward. Lin Moyu looked but saw no filth pool at this level. Even the beast emperors couldn't contain such power. He examined the cavern carefully and found no other exit. This was the end. Above the cavern must be the true core of the great wilderness, the main node of the entire formation. Only by reaching it could he learn the truth. But for now, he couldn't go up. After coming so far, he was unwilling to give up. His only option was to try to modify the formation at the cavern's top, using it as a passageway. The formation didn't look complex. And in fact, it wasn't. At first, Lin Moyu thought the refining formations were natural, but the more he studied, the more he realized they were not. They were artificially constructed to mimic natural formations. Lin Moyu had done similar things himself, which showed the other party's formation skills were at least equal to his own. Judging by the formation, Lin Moyu was more than 80% certain it was the work of a transcender from within this world, perhaps one of the 8 original great Taos from the formation of the origin land. He studied the formation, searching for flaws. The transcender who built it was surely not here now, otherwise Lin Moyu would have been discovered long ago. Years passed as he worked. Meanwhile, in the Hengduan Mountains, the Eternals continued to watch the projected images. In the images, a great battle was raging. Tun Yuan and the Soulless Beast, after slaughtering many Tao wild beasts, quickly retreated and vanished. Since being outmaneuvered years ago, their partnership had only grown stronger. They were now like close comrades in arms. After a few months of recovery, they struck again, no longer trying to outsmart the beast emperors, realizing their intellect was no greater. They began guerrilla tactics, hit and run, never lingering. This approach worked. Tun Yuan could heal by killing Tao wild beasts, and the Soulless Beast could recover by purifying them. Their wounds healed quickly, and the souls of the beasts they killed were all devoured, leaving the pools full of bodies but no souls to animate them. The number of Tao wild beasts plummeted, while Tun Yuan and the Soulless Beast grew ever stronger. Now it was the Beast Emperor's turn to panic. Repeated attempts to trap Tun Yuan and the Soulless Beast failed. Separated, they were weak. Together, they were formidable, causing immense trouble for the Tao wild beasts. Previously, the pools drained by the Soulless Beast were hard to restore. The Tao wild beasts helping with restoration had all been killed in ambushes, and in recent years, several more pools were purified. Sometimes, the Soulless Beast would only half purify a pool, then circle back to finish the job. As its strength grew, its purification became even faster and harder to defend against. Now, of the 108 pools, 3 were dried up and 9 were purified. The Beast Emperors dared not restore them, for fear they'd just be drained again. The Eternals watching found it both amusing and exasperating. These 2 were more troublesome than all of them combined. If things continued, the Tao wild beasts were in real trouble. Deep beneath the true core of the great wilderness, Lin Moyu finally began to modify the formation.